out of the three of us, so Megan, Casey, and I were all born in the same year. Megan's the youngest. Quickly, Megan became the ringleader of the group, right? And Casey and I immediately fell in line. We were, yes, ma'am, we will do what you say. Mostly out of fear, I think. Really, yeah. She was very scary growing up. I was very afraid of my sister, and I'm older than her. But clearly from the start, it was Megan's goal in life that her goal in life was to be an only child. So, just a few stories come to mind as far as when, my parents would put us out on a blanket, and so they would be in another room, and they would hear my sister whispering to me saying, Brian, say damn it. Brian, say damn it. Getting me to try to curse and say swear words to get me in trouble. Granted, we're like 2-3 years old, so at that age, she knew what damn it meant. I was just learning the words like, mama. So there's that, and then there was a time where she did have to get stitches. She had a pretty bad cut, so she got stitches, and legend has it that when she was on the table getting the stitches, she was actually screaming, I wish this was Brian. So I believe it. That's what my parents said, so I gotta believe it. So that was just at a young age. As we get older, as she starts learning how to speak more clearly and move a little bit more frequently, I clearly didn't rehearse this speech, so yeah, I'm just winging it right now. It's very hard as parents to win any battles when you have a child who is willing to have literally everything taken out of their room in order to win the battle of having the last word. I have very vivid memories of me just sitting in a room thinking like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And my parents are literally taking everything out of Megan's room, minus the mattress. And the thing is, my parents still lost. Because you can hear Megan through the door saying, oh, I'm having so much fun right now. This is so much fun. And she's singing the song. She has nothing in her room. You threaten to take anything away from me, like you could take away like a little action figure, and it was like immediate onset of panic and fear. I was a good child. Megan was like the devil reincarnated. You know what I'm talking about, Aunt Terry. I'm your favorite. Yeah.
I know you do.
So, moving forward, my favorite memories, though, come to the point where we would visit Casey here in Newcastle. So for a lot of you that didn't know, Megan and I did not grow up here in Neshannock. We didn't move here until what, like high school? I mean, it was like high school, yeah. So we lived outside of Philadelphia primarily, our growing up here. So when we would come to visit Casey, I was so excited because I knew that Casey would want to play games with me. Casey would be, yes. Casey, I knew that, no matter what, Casey would be on my side. No, it didn't work out that way because Megan would come in and Megan would, take over the show. And so we would play stupid games like Babysitter's Club, Spice Girls, Care Bears, some stupid shit like that. And so every time we played Babysitter's Club, I was always the baby, no matter what. I'm the oldest, and so no matter what, I always had to play the baby. And the one time that I finally stood up for myself and I said, you know what, no, enough. We're 5 or 6 years old, so Matt, we're very mature at this age. So I say, no, I'm not going to be the baby. Megan slaps me across the face. She said, you're the baby. And so from that point on, I was the baby every time we played Babysitter's. Because the alternative was I had to go play by myself. It was worth it. But that's just a few of the stories. I'm not going to go. There's so many stories that I could think of. But the main point is, This is really why I think Megan and Bub are perfect for each other, because Bub clearly needs a strong, independent that's going to make the decisions for him. And the interesting thing is, I think the main reason, and this is the last time that I promise I will ever make this joke, because I know that Megan does not like this joke. But I have to make it one more time. I haven't made it in about 2 years after we got into a big fight about it. But Megan and Bub are the slowest moving people in my entire life. They are tomorrow at the aisle, expect 30 minutes walking. We're going to be staring at just 2 people moving down the aisle and just in slow motion. And we're look at our watch and all right, we need to get this moving on because I want to drink tomorrow. I do not want to watch my sister walk down the aisle for 45 minutes. That's how long it's going to take. But they work out perfectly. But the last joke that I want to make, because I've been saving this for the end, and I know a few people know this joke, but Megan and Casey have been conspiring against me my whole life. It's always been those two against me, right? And it makes sense. It's all right. It's okay. I get it. But I am convinced that they have even conspired to the point where, like years ago, I think they made a pact that they were like, we're both going to marry guys that Brian cannot understand when they speak. I don't know about you all, but I knew Bob. I went to high school with him. He was a grade below me, but even right now, I can only understand about 30% of it. If you have not met Kai yet, Kai, wave your hand. Kai is Casey's husband. Have a conversation with him over the next 2 days. You know what I'm talking about. I'm a little bit better with Kai. I've been around him more, so I understand about 40% of the time. But you put me in a room and there's the 5 of us, all I hear is, and Megan and Casey are both like, oh no, we'll get that started in like 5 minutes. Oh, that's great. And I'm like, what did they ask you? And their answer is like, oh, they said, hey babe, how was your day today? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so I mean, to kind of bring it to a close here, I'm extremely happy for Megan and Bob. I think they work perfectly for each other. It's kind of fate, right? They went to prom and homecoming together in high school, right? And then, 8 years later, they started dating. I think that was kind of cool. So it's coming full circle, right? Wait, that's not weird, right? I don't know. But I'm super excited for tomorrow. I hope everyone is. It's going to be a blast. I hope everyone dances and drinks. It's going to be an open bar. So if you want to tip. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. Yeah, I'll leave a $5 bill in the base. But if everyone has a drink, I just want to make one toast to Bob. Because after tomorrow, Bob, the one thing that I want you to know, and this is 100% truth, whatever is Megan's, and what's yours is Megan's. He's got a coat with it.